Hello, everybody, and welcome back to GameStar's ANZ Spring Series. My name is Nigerian. Casting alongside me is the ever so fluffable, lovable Covington. How are you, my friend?
I'm extremely lovable, extremely savage, but extremely lovable. Shout out to all of my fans in the chat. What's really going on, people? So we just had quite an intense game between Nobody and Egirl Slayerz. Do you have any advice for Nobody going into game two tonight?
Well, it was I guess depends. I mean, it was a kind of a one-sided affair, really. Ingo Slayers just looked monstrous. They were able to out-rotate. I think what really happened was the questionable decision on pushing down the lanes instead of grouping up to focus on that immortal when level 10s were nearby. It was a call, but it did not pan out because Eagle Slayers hit level 10 first. They were able to get that advantage and, in fact, dealt with a lot of damage on their immortal and just allowed them to steamroll down the bottom lane. But that's game one. Like I said, this is a best of three, meaning we are in game two and we're heading over to Dragonshire, another map that is focused around securing those little shrines. But this is all about control. Now, do we see something different here? Because it's not a race anymore. It's about control play. Will this work out for Nobody? What do you reckon, Cubby?
So I think what you've got to think about with Nobody is, especially after watching that first game, is that that first game wasn't really indicative of Nobody as a team, seeing as they are missing two of their members. They're missing, our good friend Moops. He isn't here this week, unfortunately. He's ever not present, but hopefully he'll be back next week for the series. Um, but to answer your question, controlling those points on Dragonshire is, really vital. So it'll be good to see a lot of CC, a lot of high health pools, and another Samuro ban. That's really interesting. Do you think that's a meme ban?
I think, honestly, Eagle Slayers just don't want to deal with it. I guess they don't want to deal with the consistent split pushing hero that Samuro can do. Despite it not being Zaliance on the enemy team that is going to play it, it is still a nuisance, to deal with. But Maiev being banned away straight away by Nobody is a reflection of just how much Luke was causing disruption. And we highlighted that in the previous game when he was picked. And to see it banned is smart, but now Abathur is actually being banned away by Eagle Slayers. I guess they, don't want to deal with that either. I guess they just don't want to deal with the consistent lane pressure that comes
I
out.
mean, here's the thing: when you're playing against someone whose name and BNet is Abathur, of course you're gonna ban that hero out. You don't want to deal with playing against an Abathur named Abathur, right?
But what if it's an Abathur played by another person that's not named Abathur, and Abathur is just a trick? It's all mind games.
Mm-hmm.
Mind games, this is.
And I mean, another reply ban there with Garrosh being banned out after seeing how easily Garrosh kind of was able to dismantle Nobody's backline in that last game.
Yeah, Matt was quite a nuisance. He was able to get to the right targets and flip them, followed by the stun lock, just to allow his teammates to get easy pickings. But Diablo was not banned this game, despite him
Game
being
four,
banned
and
the
we get
past
a
three times.
Diablo.
He gets locked in straight away, and it's going to be ATC and Greymane being locked up by Nobody. A lot of engaged burst damage from there.
I love seeing that Grey Man. Hopefully, it's someone like Mitzi on that Grey Man because we know that Mitzi is quite dangerous when he is playing, these strong assassin roles.
They do leave themselves a Tyrande and Dahaka, though.
And I mean that's quite strong, allow Diaka allowing them to, borrow between the points when needed. Global always strong on this particular map.
Now we're entering in towards the next ban phase. Whitemane has usually been the next go-to ban once we hit towards this next level. In fact, it's going to be the Zero Tool being banned away. It's smart. You don't want to deal with the Void Prison follow up by the APOC or Lightning Breath combo. That does happen when you get the Zero Tool and Diablo synergy there. So banned away by Nobody. This now leaves Eagle Slayers to look for their third and final ban of tonight.
Third and final ban, and to be honest with you, it would be smart to ban out Whitemane Or Deckard. Interesting they'll ban out Deckard after the nerf, but I guess, you know, his ceiling scroll does, you know, create a lot of control onto these points. So I can dig it. I can dig it.
This does leave white main available. Has not been picked up and will not be picked up by Egirl Slayerz. Nobody can still lock that
White
in.
main, grey
You got-
main.
Exactly, it's all the mains tonight. But Jaina locked in as the ranged assassin for that mage. A lot of damage. In fact, it's going to be Lucio locking up. That's a lot of speed boosting engage with the ETC and Grey main.
I would have preferred to see Thought main, seeing as, you know, they are the Egirl Slayers, but it is what it is. Final two picks for Egirl Slayers.
Their damage
pick up
dealers now.
DPS. And they go for Orphea Raynor. It's going to be really interesting to see. I assume it'll be Luke on Orphea. Are we going to see Orphea rinse and delete another team?
Well, it depends. I mean, it's kind of be difficult when you have that Lucio who's able to speed boost, get them away from the Eternal Feast area. And that's what happens. When there's no hero there to proc Eternal Feast, it's not going to do with that damage. But you got Diablo, if he gets an APOC, there's that combo set up. And the Lost Vikings was going to be locked in.
Baby.
I had a gut feeling Lost Vikings was going to make a showing on this map.
You know, this is ANZ. We do have a few Viking players, so it's going to be... I just want to see how they utilize those Vikings to, you know, get themselves ahead, out macro Egirl Slayers, because it was quite obvious in that last game that they could that there was no way they were gonna out macro them. So I do appreciate this approach to this next map.
If anything, now we're going to see. In fact, it's going to be Trashly on Orphea. So it's not going to be Luke. Luke will be on that Raynor.
It's not going to be Luke. Yeah.
No, unfortunately, it's Trashly. So it's up to Trashly's job to, you know, take out the trash with Orphea, see what he can do there. But now Lost Vikings. So it works because if you have your teammates dealing with the enemy team, they're able to get the ETC, get the Jaina, get the Grey main. That mosh pit, if he goes for also the Ring of Frost, there's a lot of lockdown burst potential there. They can brawl, they can delay, and this allows Lost Vikings to, I guess, send their counterparts to the top shrine, to the bottom shrine, and then the third one to secure that Dragon Knight. So there is some cheeky plays that the Lost Vikings can do. Has been played on this map before. To great effect. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're hopping into game number 2 in its best of 3 for the GameStar ANZ Spring Series. This is, again, nobody taking on Egirl Slayer. On the blue side, we have firstly on that Grey main, Abathar on the APC, Caladris on Lucio, Encore on Jaina, and finally SDBX is rocking those Lost Vikings, who are now found. But on the red side, who do we got?
Introducing Egirl Slayers, we've got Stump Thought on Tyrande, Matt hitting it back on the Diablo, Luke on Raynor, Trashly showing us the Orphea and Raven burrowing down with that Dihaka.
Interesting play. Instead of nobody rotating towards the middle or the bottom, in fact, they're going to send them all their members up in top lane. This is a play you can do because when you're rocking the Lost Vikings, you are able to send them to other lanes for the soak. Now, they're going to apply a lot of pressure up into something. Can they get some damage on the structures? They're trying Abathar. Is going to soak some bit. This is forcing a rotation from the remainder of the team. That is Egirl Slayers. Trashly can deal with them to zone them away. Matt is even a backline. He can get a nice drag on. Gets grouped away on towards Encore. They're trying to do Sasha. He's so low. In fact, Orphea will be able to help Diablo secure that kill. So that's going to be one member down. Meanwhile, Abathar's the next target. He's taking so much damage, trying to zigzag his way to safety, but will not happen. And that's 2 members down as Egirl Slayers give themselves a nice early advantage.
I really appreciate the attempt there to go for that kind of a play, but it was just unfortunate that they didn't pull out a little bit earlier when they realized the rotation was coming. Because they would have been able to see them rotate from mid with the Viking being in the middle lane.
Well, got themselves 2 early kills, starting their dominance already with a great start. Have also a slight advantage lead despite taking on the Lost Vikings. Now it's going to be Olaf gets jumped on, will fall to the members of Egirl Slayerz. But this is something to note that despite all the Lost Vikings soaking up lanes, this allows the rest of the team that is nobody to work on those Merc camps. We saw Greymane as well as Jaina now finally rotating towards those Knights. Bottom Giants have been secured, but the Shrine has been caught. Dragon Knight can be ready to channel. Avatar looking to soak up, at least disengage some of that, but has dropped a bit of health. Lucio doing his best to keep him alive. Have zoned him away, have pushed him off, but it's still not going to work. Luke, now getting a channel. Oh, great play by Matt. Is able to deny Caladris' interrupt. And that's going to be the first Dragon Knight being secured by Egirl Slayerz.
That was pretty free for Egirl Slayerz, but luckily for nobody, this is quite a Dragon Knight, so it's not actually going to pick up too much value here. Maybe a few towers. Maybe the keep if they can pick up another kill here. And STBX is getting very... He managed... I forget that he's on the Lost Viking.
That's alright, it's only Olaf. I mean, Olaf will return to us sooner than later. But they have exposed this middle fort, taken away all the walls. They have not taken the fountain. That's the first thing. They are rotating towards this bottom lane. Could be their next focus. There's only 10 seconds left on this Dragon Knight. Trying to dish out a bit of damage as they can. Again, also have themselves an XP lead. Level 6 to level 5. It's going to be about halfway soon. But that's a Dragon Knight. Do you think that's worth it? But here's the engagement by Avatar. They're jumping on towards Luke. He's down below half hour. Followed by the group that is Caladris. They're doing something, but firstly, cannot get away. Firstly, he's going to be the first one to fall. Luke is the next. That's both damage dealers down. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Dahaka will pick himself a little free Eric for his troubles. But that's a 1-for-1 exchange. Is that worth? We'll just have to wait and see it as level 7 is up for Egirl Slayerz.
Yeah, nice counter kill there coming onto firstly. I think they may have been able to pick up a little bit more there, but at least they did pick up the kill on the Viking in the top lane. Just gonna keep rolling on the bottom lane while the Vikings just soak up the experience in other lanes.
This is probably going to be what we see for a while. It's just a lot of brawl focus. Meanwhile, Vikings soak up. But if Vikings get caught, just like SCBX Baylog, they're going to fall as if they're nothing. So that's another Viking down, lost for the count. Gone twice to another realm of existence. As his teammates going to deal with the minions, try to catch up. But they're, again, about a half level behind. Equal talented though, so when trying to do it to come up, they can at least put up a fight. But the Lost Vikings, their presence comes later on. Ooh, Avatar gets jumped on, Matt. Not going to follow it up. But Avatar, in fact, is going deep. Gets a double stun onto Stump God and Trashly. That's the back way. Flipped over. He can escape for his life. And that's about it, Cubby.
I feel like there's a bit of a miscommunication there with Avatar going in. Well, firstly, was still quite low, so there was no way that their main damage dealer was going to be able to like follow up on that engage.
Well, Avatar he probably doesn't get the memo because he wants to fight, seeing his position aggressiveness. But firstly, gets engaged on by Matt. In fact, Caladris as well as Ko are on their way for the assistance. Avatar locked up again by the Lunar Flare. Matt is down to below half out. Here comes Raven. Raven looking to get some kills, but a great double stun by Avatar is able to keep his teammates alive as the rest of Trashly on all is just blowing up. But will Matt fall? He's so damn low, only has 177 health before he's able to heal up. So that's the main tank down for nobody. But SCBX looking to get the channel. This is what we're talking about. The Lost Vikings, where everyone fights, they can channel. But did not work out as Caladris is the next member to fall.
Yeah, it's quite interesting how aggressive Abathur's positioning is this game. You'd think after the last game he wouldn't be playing quite like that, but I mean, what would I know, really? It's good to see the Vikings having this plan them and nobody almost stealing the Dragon Knight there, but it looks like, oh, poor Baylog. This is becoming like Viking abuse. It looks like quite possibly we may have a Dragon Knight picked up here for Egirl Slayerz.
Well, Encore is going to get blown up. Trashly 1v2 secures the kill onto Encore all by himself.
That's
A
the
great
power of
display.
Orphea.
Absolutely, that display of Orphea is just doing wonders, going for the build that's focused around Dread and slowing increased damage. But I haven't secured Dragonite just yet. Level 10s have been picked up on the side of Nobody. We're seeing Mosh Pit. Also got some Cursed Bullet. They're trying and they're fighting, but still to no avail has Dragonite been secured.
Sound barrier as well for Lucio, giving it seem a bit more, you know, more of a shield, and then with the Ring of Frost, so that they can follow up on that lockdown from ETC. Looks like Trashly's about to cut the dragon there. Well, the rest of the team in the bottom lane.
Yep, they do lose firstly, so that's going to be the Grey Mane down for the count. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, you've got Orphea as well as Raven working on that middle fort, as the rest of the team working on the bottom fort. So far, on the macro playing field, the strategical play, the call that is Egirl Slayerz, they're looking to push and push hard, threatening multiple lanes at once. But Caladrius, oh buddy, he gets knocked into the back line, being exposed, but he'll be able to speed himself back to safety. As firstly, in the wrong side of the fence, gets jumped on, gets engaged on, so damn low, he will be able to escape with the little life he has left, as the rest of Egirl Slayerz are working on his bottom keep, working on taking one turret. Now they're working on towards the next. The wall is going to be the next one to fall as well, so that's the exposed keep. And they're still pushing 83% health on that Dragonite. 17 seconds. Olaf, the next Viking to fall as well. And Egirl Slayerz are just stomping Nobody.
And to be honest with you, they're going to take this keep. Grab this kill on Abatha. And if the Ring of Frost comes down, just to say, back off guys, you know, we don't need you in our base right now. This is not an end for you. But Matt, you know, he's just so aggressive going in for these kills. Caladrius has to pop the sound barrier to stop him from dying. Looks like they're pushing them back. Luke falls to Encore.
Back the fight is still going on. They're able to turn it around. They get themselves a few kills. Firstly, he's going to fall to Matt's Lightning Breath. But the chase is on because there's an Encore, there's a Caladrius, the Boop, the chain that's trying to get him. But Matt is still surviving with very little health. He's still living 300, 200, but he will fall finally to Abatha. So that is the main tank down, but he'll be back up in moments because he does have 100 souls. They turn it around, get some kills, but 11-5, 16-14. This is looking to be quite a dire match yet again for the side of Nobody.
I mean, that was 4 kills. And the sheer amount of EXP that's going to help them catch up is really important at this stage in the game, seeing as they are 2 levels down in the experience.
I mean, you really got to give it to the side of Egirl Slayerz. They are just cleaning up the Lost Vikings. Anytime they get a chance, they just quickly delete them. And the Lost Vikings aren't able to soak up when they're dead. Well, like from the grave, yeah, good luck with that. I wish there was a hero that can do that. Not even Leoric can soak up when he's in his ghosted form. But that is what's happening. And so because of that, you're winning the macro play against the Lost Vikings. You're then also winning in the team fights, 11-5 in kills. There is a big lead. They're a full talent lead, but they're still trying to push. Now it's a kind of a duel. Abatha looking to brawl. He gets engaged on, gets a double stun. He does have much, but Ring of Frost has been used. It gets a lock of stun. They're trying. That's going to be Matt falling. Also, Sound Barrier has been used, but a great crushing jaws. Boxing 3 members. Trashly from behind does great work. But unfortunately, Encore is forced to stasis. Will be the next to fall. That's 2 members down on the side of Nobody. As Egirl Slayerz clean up, clean house, take themselves the free Merc in the top lane. And now they're going to set the sights up for the Dragonite yet again.
Should be a pretty nice for Egirl Slayerz. Like how slow that fight. Nobody have that. Bruiser Camp fighting with them and having that aura that boosts the D, and to properly engage until that camp was down. It's a really great play coming out from Egirl Slayerz. This Dragonite here is Interesting that they're bullying the Vikings with the Dragon Knight there, but it looks like they're gonna push into this top lane here and try and create a win condition.
Got one exposed in the bottom lane. The Harker's down there to push it as well. So he can always come back in with that Bush Stalker in order to get a gank as he applies pressure. But here comes Dragon Knight, 35 seconds on it, 87% health. It is quite healthy, but Matt and Co are engaging. There's a Ring of Frost, lands on him. There's also the Mosh Meat that's going to stun 3 members. It's now or never for the engagement. In fact, there's no follow-up. Where was Firstly? Could not get the secure kill. In fact, there's a turnaround happening as Jaina's going to be the first to fall, followed by Olaf. Next is Firstly, so that's the Grey Mane down. Avatar gets knocked away, and now this is turning around in the favor of Egirl Slayerz to secure 3 kills, secure the top keep. Dragon Knight will fall in just a matter of seconds, but still, this works well. They're looking to end tonight's game, Cubby.
Yeah, I feel like this game is over now. There's no way that this core isn't gonna fall here. There's just too many members down, and it even seems like, yeah, GG, well played, guys. Hopefully next week when your 2 members are back, that we'll see a better showing from you. But a little bit disappointed this week. Not gonna lie, nobody.
It was kind of, I guess, a lackluster performance on the side of nobody. When you are members down, that communication is up to question. That, I guess, team cohesion is also with a lot of, well, do we perform this way? Do we perform that? How does this member play? Do they work well with us? A lot of question marks, a lot of, back to the drawing board scenarios. And unfortunately, against a team like Egirl Slayerz, we mentioned this earlier tonight, actually, where 2 teams with different skills, one will capitalize on the little mistakes, and that's what Egirl Slayerz have done. They were able to 2-0 yet again, nobody. Still haven't dropped a match to them, but they will be back tomorrow night to play off in another best of 3 against the winner that is between Capital and multiple units. But still, a great best of 3 performance by Egirl Slayerz yet again.
Like it was a really good showing of. Because, I mean, when you think about these players, a lot of them, when we first encountered them in the Open Division, a lot of them were kind of coming over from, like, League and other games. So, it's good to see them, say, 6 months later, having put a little bit more time into the game and into the meta, and just seeing how these players have evolved in their play styles.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if anything, we can't not wait for next year's Open Division to see them yet again competing on a high caliber stakes where if they do win, they can make their way towards the Premier Division, and then through that, have a showing.
Come second in the...
That is Crimson Academy, yes, and that is essentially Egirl Slayerz, so that is a lot to say. They have a chance to make it to Premier next year. But, ladies and gentlemen, you have been tuning in to GameStar's ANZ Spring Series. It was the onesie edition featuring good old cuddly Cubberton and myself, Night Geo. Tune in tomorrow night as we'll have another best of 3 lined up for you. That is going to be at 7:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time back on this Twitch channel. We wish you a lovely night and have a great day or weekend.